Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of AgogeTV with me, your host Phil Leonard, and co-host Josh Summersgill. On today's podcast, we have Gary Jenkins. He's managing director of No Brainer Marketing Agency. Is that right, Gary? Marketing agency or marketing and PR agency?
Yeah, marketing PR will do, whatever, mate. Yeah.
He's also Warrington's Businessman of the Year.
Nice.
Generally awesome guy who's helped us out multiple times on our journey. Before we get into the podcast though today, I just want to quickly thank all of the NHS staff and emergency services that are working extra hard at the moment. So I just want to make sure that we're getting that message out there. So Gary, I'll let you explain a bit more about yourself in a second because we've got plenty of questions for you. First question though is everyone's favorite. First one for everyone is: how did you find CrossFit, and what was you doing before you did CrossFit?
Right. How did I find? I found CrossFit. So yeah, the company I work with, we hired a new sort of office manager, and her name was Mel, and she was doing CrossFit all the time, and she didn't shut up about it. If I'm honest, proper CrossFit wanker. Which I pretended to be, and she just didn't stop talking about it. I was like, what? I said, I've like every time I go to the tip, I've seen the Agoge sign, and I've driven past it and looked across and seen people outside, messing about, jumping around. It looked amazing, but I just thought that's not really for me. So I was a right fat bastard. I mean, I was about 18 stonish. I let myself go massively. But she kept saying about it. So, right, I'm just going to go. I know I'm going to be really crap in the first, however long, 3-6 months, whatever. But I'm just going to get down there and just do my best and see if I like it or not. Over the years I played rugby to a decent standard, proper rugby, not the rugby you guys play, rugby union.
I don't play rugby. One day ball.
Soft right.
No, I was a number 10 at union, so I was like the kicker in a union team. And then I played football as well, so I played football for years. Then I retired about 30 when I was about 37. Just too many injuries. I ripped my legs to shreds. My knees were gone. Just too much football over the years, so gave that up. And then I couldn't really find anything. I just ended up playing badminton with this fella we're the same standard, so we just had brilliant time playing badminton. But it never did what I wanted to do. I went to the gym, and I just hated David Lloyd's, and it just does nothing for me. I just can't motivate myself to get excited about somewhere like that. And so I tried to keep going to places like that. Never enjoyed it at all. Couldn't be creative enough with my own programming to, set my own goals and stuff like that. Just couldn't get the motivation for it. So I walked in the door, and I've never looked back since then. I've loved every minute of being part of not only the community, but just, it's a whole new fitness journey for me, massively.
Interesting though, I know before the podcast you were just telling us that you've been coming up with your own workouts while you've been in lockdown as well. So obviously that's changed. Things have obviously changed massively. So you're a bit more creative with your own workouts now. And have you found that being part of a CrossFit gym, even though obviously we're closed at the minute, has helped you out both mentally, day to day, as well as just physically in the gym?
Oh, definitely, mate. Yeah. I've been doing my own thing, but that's part of being the community. Everyone's, you follow everyone on social, don't you? And everyone's putting on their own little programs. You're doing programs every day as well. I'm sort of just taking them. I call it my day chipper, and they're just, it's a good old slog fest that I get through in a day that I feel like I've worked everything or as much as I can during the day. So I am trying to do more. I probably work more in isolation than I have on a, usual week. But I've said to you guys a few times now, I don't know what I'd do without this now, if I'm honest with you. I just, for my mental well-being, I need this. Honestly, I was a bit of a mess, to be fair, because I'd sort of neglected myself when I joined, because I focused on obviously the family and raising the kids and Lisa and making sure that we're doing right by that, setting up the business, which, as you guys know, is an absolute slog in the early years. It really is. And I sort of let myself go. It really is. And a bit later on, especially now. But yeah, it's mad. But yeah, no, I need it for my mental well-being now. I need it. I find it such a release. I find that the buzz after I finish the class, it's just It's like the buzz after you scored a goal when you're playing football, or whatever, or you've kicked one over the sticks. It's just the buzz you get, and it's addictive for me.
Yeah, I think being part of a team's a massive thing, isn't it? So it's like again, I never found that anywhere other than CrossFit, where I felt like I was part of a team as well as like I did when I was playing rugby. I was like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm part of a team, and I don't get punched in the face very often, which is
it's a bonus.
Yeah,
it's true. Like because if you've been brought up and raised in most of your life, you've spent doing team sports. It's difficult to find that thing in a gym, in the sense of a gym, or like this, isn't it? It's difficult to find that.
A lot of like ex-military guys are the same, aren't they? Like whether they come out of like the military, the RAF or whatever, they look for that kind of team sort of camaraderie that they can't find it anywhere until obviously they come to CrossFit. It's like, oh my God, this is like, I think this is the next bit for me. So it's very similar in that sense, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly. What's it like for you guys when someone, especially when I first walked, like people like me walk in, and you're sort of like going, Jesus, we've got a bit of work to do with this one?
I think, you know what? It never really happens where I'm like, oh my God. Like, there was one person, and I can't even mention the name because they're still a member. But there was one person that come through the door, and I remember ringing Josh and being like, bro, I don't know what we're going to do. I was like, I might have to give them PT or something like that, or like, I was like, I don't know. I was like, they're just starting at such a deficit. And again, I won't mention the name, but they are now an absolute fucking beast. Do you know what I mean? And it was just a case of like showing up day in, day out. So I think after that happened to me the first time, I kind of just went, when people do come through the door and they're really unfit and they're just starting the fitness journey kind of thing, I don't worry about it, because I'm like, as long as they show up, they'll be all right.
And you make a call on someone in terms of their attitude before, like, in a short space of time, just to see what who's going to stick it out.
Yeah, definitely. We always joke that, like, if somebody's like, there was somebody sick in an induction the other day, and then they signed up, and I was like, okay, you're here for life. Here's your lifetime membership. Sign it now. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I'd rather somebody walk into the gym who's never even been into a gym and they're a genuinely sound person than a full-time CrossFit athlete who's like a helmet. Do you know what I mean? Because you can work with somebody who's down to earth and genuine. Whereas when you come, like, maybe you're an athlete and you've got, like, think a lot of yourself or whatever, they're a lot harder to coach. So yeah, I personally, I think Phil's the same, would rather see someone who genuinely wants to learn and almost hasn't got any bad habits either.
Yeah, if you can get somebody who's like fresh, like, and you can just mold them and get them to do things correct from the start, and again, just coming in with like no ego and just being able to say, right, I'm gonna crack on, we're gonna modify appropriately, and those people don't come along very often. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, like, somebody to come in with that sort of attitude is like so few and far between. But like, because again, people, like, they come in from a team sport like yourself, and like, I know you picked up an injury when you first started because you were like, I'm gonna do this workout at this weight, and then before you knew, you're like, oh my God, this destroyed me.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm excited. Over
broken.
Yeah. Like that. To have somebody that's completely, I think naive's probably the best thing, but like,
because that's a bonus sometimes.
Yeah,
I remember you never used to let us know what the WOD was for that particular day, and like you never knew what you were coming into. There's a naivety as you walk through the door and you go, right, what we got here?
My favourite thing when people walk in now is still when someone comes in and goes, "Is that it?" Yeah,
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, it is. Enjoy.
That's quite good. Yeah, I'm happy with this one today. Next thing you know, you're barfing your tits out outside.
Less ink on the board.
Yeah. So I just want to move on quickly because my secret reason for getting you on, Gary, is because you're our resident business lifeline as such. You've helped.
The truth comes out.
Yeah.
Oh, no. This is not in your questions that you give me.
So I want to talk a bit of business with you.
Oh, okay.
I want, first of all, can we get like your elevator pitch for No Brainer and what you thought of, like how it all come about, a little bit about No Brainer agency before we go into it?
Yeah. So like I'd always wanted to do it. So whatever job I was doing I'd always use that job to either build connections or pull in information from different agencies, to understand what the market was doing, because I knew one day I was going to set my own thing up. So every job I had, I used as a platform either to build a network or to get information about what my agency could be in the future. And I went out there looking for an agency that understood how, the traditions of PR, which is all about sort of like, media and, events and public affairs and things like that, how that sits alongside social and how that was all coming together in one thing. And I just couldn't find any agencies that were doing it. I found one in Leeds called Epiphany. And so I nicked all the good stuff, got all these decks, and they all pitched to me about coming in as our new agency when I was working at MBNA in Chester. And then basically just kept all of their stuff and created my business out of that. And yeah, so I saw a little gap in the market and just went for it. And we started in this room, started at this desk, just me and Lee, literally not a penny, no clients, nothing. And now there's 14 of us, and yeah, it's doing all right. It's just, I don't know, mate. It's just a slog fest. Yeah. Just saw an opportunity and went for it, and that's
that's just how business works. I think if people don't take those risks, then and again, I think it's always going to be a risk in it. I know you've made it work, but
yeah.
I think you've got to jump out of the plane and make a parachute on the way down, haven't you?
Yeah, that's a great analogy, mate. That's true, that. And then there's people helping you on the way. You know what I mean? And so many people didn't have to help me, and they did out of goodness. Just being good people and just nice people. That I feel like, now I'm building something that I should be doing that as well. Because you don't forget the people that prop you up on the way, if you know what I mean, or that help you out when you're in difficult times.
Definitely, so. And we've definitely benefited from that attitude. I feel like it's been, like I say, it's been great for us.
A lot of shit, to be fair. If you could sift some good stuff out of that, then that's great.
I think my favourite.
That's a good approach.
My favourite thing about it was to sit when we went to come to your office and we had sat down, and just how excited we all got about like the possibilities of different things that we could do. Is just doing that on its own can be so beneficial for a business owner, just to give them that motivation to go back again the next day and just keep grinding away. And I think people can underestimate that. So what's your biggest achievement as a business owner?
As a business owner, I don't know. Giving people jobs. I mean, I just love the fact that I'm helping people, get a career and stuff like that, and seeing the people flourish for me is brilliant. It's like, this is an interesting time to be running a business, as you guys know, and anyone else that runs a business knows it's bloody chaos out there. But, I just love the fact that I've got something, I've built something from nothing. And, that's the sense of pride in that, if you know what I mean. But my proud moments when I'm working is when I almost like, and I'm not in the office at the moment, but I sit in the office and I look around and all the team are grafting or laughing, or, we're all at the bar together having a drink, or, you know what I mean? There's just a sense of, we've built this, and they're the proud moments that I have. So I think it's like you just sit, and sometimes you just take all that stuff for granted, don't you? And sometimes you just sit and go, yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Not there yet, though. Still not happy yet. Never happy.
Never will be.
Never will be. No. I will be when I sell it, and I'm sat on that. I'm sat on that boat in the Med, that world tour. Yeah.
I mean, as long as I'm sat on that boat with you, that's all good.
Yeah, you're right.
But no, that's so. I like the fact that you. I think that encompasses like your why as such, because it's not, again, like you didn't say, oh, I mean it just because of the money. It was like, it's because of the people that you get to help and influence all the way through. And like, I think that's like sums you up really nicely, and why you're probably such a legend at the gym, because like you've always got time for everybody else. And like, again, in your business, you're not so much worrying about, like, you're not worried about how much, I'm sure you are worried about how much money you're making, but like you're more worried about the team and the people around you than anything else, which is actually brings me on to something that I wanted to ask you about in the current situation. Is how are you leading your team, and what's your like mindset around leading your team during the fact that we're stuck indoors at the minute and we're all working from home? How do you handle that?
I remember when you guys were dishing out the dishing out some of the equipment, and I made a point of going over to Josh and saying, like, stay positive, be positive, because I think it's a difference between sort of managing people and being a leader is very different. And you've got to be a positive force. And you guys, getting out there, you've been nothing but proactive. You've been nothing but positive. You've been nothing but, trying to keep people's morale up and spirits up and keeping us something to do. And that's exactly what you should be doing. That's what leadership is. You get people to follow you when you're positive and you're a force for good. And my job at work, exactly what you're doing with us and with yourselves, is just being a positive force. And if you can be that, that's all you can be. There's going to be shit storms, and there's going to be stuff flying in that you struggle to deal with. But if you're coming at it positively with the right mindset and the right attitude, and I think you just genuinely try and, you've got to be authentic. You can't fake the fact that you care about people. Yeah. If you care about people, show you care about them. We sent all of our guys, just some flowers the other day to all their homes, just to say, like, thanks for you being so positive, and thanks for, sticking by us, and thanks for continuing to work hard and graft for us, because we just don't take that for granted. We really don't. Little things like that, and just trying to be a positive force, and just try and keep people upbeat, because there's a lot of sort of negativity out there at the moment, and there's no room for that. I think in our world, we'll get through this, same as you guys, we'll get through this, but shit happens, doesn't it?
I love it. Yeah, that's like one of the things we keep saying is, like, we will make it through the other side. What we'll look like on the other side is, we don't know, but we will make it through the other side, and we'll do our best to come out of it better than we went in.
On the other side of this, everyone's going to go, the world's going to change forever. It's never going to be the same. Yeah. That'll last 3 weeks, and then we'll all be back to normal again.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. It's true.
Definitely. Completely agree. So I think you might have answered my last question, basically, around business. Maybe it was going to be, what would your advice to a new or a business owner, what would your advice to them be? It doesn't have to be around like the coronavirus in the current time, but just in general, if you was to give them one piece of awesome advice, or maybe something you could have told yourself 3 or 4 years ago, what would it be?
I think the best bit of advice I got was, have a plan. Because without a plan, and I talked to you about this, I talk about my orbit chart, and it's basically, I had a plan year on year what my business is going to look like. So have a plan, and then have a plan to work to the plan. So what are you going to do in the next 90 days? You're not going to do everything you want to do to build a business in a week. It's like, set yourself some targets every week that's building up to something bigger. But have a plan. Understand what you want your business to be, and then start to think about how you build it in a structured way. But also, definitely, 1,000,000% go out and speak to people who have done it or have been there, that have been through it, because you can take the best thing. That's the best thing I did, because I just got all their learnings. They were all going, oh yeah, don't do that, or get yourself a good accountant early. Do this.
Oh, we know that one.
But it's all does that.
Honestly, best thing I did was getting a good accountant. But like, get advice from people that have because we've all learned from it. We've all failed in certain ways. It's like, fail and get back up, or don't do that again. I'll do it this way. And like, if you can listen to people, and everyone who starts, everyone's got a passion when they start a business, but then just strip out your ego and say, right, I'm just going to listen to what people are saying about their businesses and learn from how they've, succeeded or failed in certain ways. The failures, you learn from failures more than anything, I think, and go and speak to people. And you'd be surprised, actually, more people will open up their doors to you and have a chat with you about that than you think. The people who do want to prop and help people up.
That's awesome as well. And what I really like is that's like when we talked to Trav yesterday about training. And like, obviously, you've not actually heard the end of Trav's podcast yet, have you? But
not yet, no.
You've basically got the same message as he has for business as for training. Like,
oh, right.
Yeah, you can draw some like really nice parallels to what he says it with a lot more swearing.
I'm trying not to F and Jeff, just in case.
Don't worry about it. But yeah, he says pretty much the same thing, that you can, like you say, he says exactly the same.
That's the end of mind, isn't it?
Yeah, it's having a plan and just helping each other out and all the rest of it. It's like everything.
It's the same as CrossFit, isn't it? You set your goals in CrossFit. You look at the whiteboard where we've all set our 2020 goals. I know that's just to get through this at the moment, but it's up that. But you know what I mean? Everyone's got their goal there, and everyone every day is chipping away to get to that goal. And that's exactly the same as any business.
Yeah. That's like I say, brilliant. I like it. Really like it. So that's I think that's basically the end of my main questions, all the serious ones anyway.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, now the good stuff. So where am I up to? Sorry, there we go. Let's go with a fun one, because I feel like we've been dead serious for the most part.
I know, it's not like Trav's, is it?
We're informative,
No, I think it's been really good so far. So this is where you ruin it, basically. Couple of fun questions. First one: book or film recommendation that everybody should read or watch?
Film. I was just saying my favourite film is a film called Basketball Diaries. Have you ever seen it?
No.
Oh, it's a classic. You've got to watch it. Like, Leonardo DiCaprio's in it.
Basketball Diaries.
The Basketball Diaries, yeah. You should have a look at it. Honestly, it's a classic. It's about this group of lads that get into drugs. They're from school, and they're just, honestly, it's a brilliant film. It used to be my favourite film. Very that.
I watched that.
Wall Street.
Got something to do tonight now in lockdown. That's
honestly, mate, it's classic. It's a classic. Books.
What was that book that you read recently that you recommended?
Oh, business book.
Was it Traction?
Oh, wait up. My computer's sat on it at the moment. One second. Yeah. This one.
Conveniently, here it is. Oh, yeah.
My new published works. So it's a book called Traction. If you want to start a business, that's a business book. That's the right one.
I feel like we should be sponsored by Waterstones the way we do. The way we.
Oh yeah. Out every day.
Yeah, no, I was balancing the computer on it so that the computer was coming down and didn't look so fat.
All about them angles. Before CrossFit, now doing CrossFit.
Okay, next question. One person that if you had the opportunity to learn everything you could from them, who would it be?
Learn anything I could from them?
It can be dead or alive. And
Bruce Lee.
I'd
love to be able to just kick anyone's ass I wanted to. You just walk around like no worries at all.
Just flying sidekicks all over the office.
Yeah, just do what you want, like 1-inch punch in the face. Yeah, Bruce Lee. I've always been fascinated with Bruce Lee. I mean, like, the guy's a phenomenon. If you ever looked into him, he's just amazing.
Crazy.
I heard you went, Bruce Lee on your Christmas do, didn't you?
I hope your mum might see this. Yeah, I was there. I did CrossFit for about a week. I was like, I desperately needed that week. Ended up kicking the shit out of myself at the next available CrossFit opportunity. Yeah, I wasn't good. But I think my accent up here doesn't land too well in certain parts of the world. And then when I tell people I'm a Leeds United fan as well, it goes down even worse. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're most people are rugby up here. We wouldn't care. They'd be more worried if you said you were a Saints fan in Warrington. So
Yeah,
I am.
You are.
No,
All right,
no.
let's end the podcast.
I'm not.
Awesome.
So next one, a little bit more serious, but biggest personal achievement, and it can be in or out of the gym. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, that's my kids. My kids are my biggest achievement. That's what life's all about. Anyone that's got kids knows that. When you look into your baby's eyes, mate, nothing else matters. Everything else becomes perspective after that.
I don't know. I always remember looking into Cora's eyes at 2 a.m. when she was screaming on her phone.
Yeah, but
I got me dad's dog.
Yeah,
that's more about it as far as I go.
That's for me. That's my big one. Yeah, but at CrossFit, just before I left, I did my first ever chest to bar.
Yeah,
and I actually ended up doing 21 that day. That was a class, Phil. I was buzzing. I was actually buzzing. I was getting progress finally. For me, that's massive.
Yeah, because I remember turning around to him and was like, I wouldn't really do him in singles, but if you've got to. And he was like, I've got to. And he did 2 and then went, yeah, singles. That was it.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, me and Soapy Ben going at it. It was brilliant.
Awesome. Right, brilliant stuff. So basically, that's all the questions we've got for you today, Gary. If people do want to get in contact with you, No Brainer Agency or even just yourself, how do people find you?
You can find me on social, or just type in No Brainer Agency and anything you want in terms of social channels. We're always there. But like, if anyone's like thinking about starting a business, I know, then I always got time to help you. If you're running a business, like I speak to Craig, I speak to Ben as well. You know, they're all starting their own things or building their own things as well. So there's plenty of people out there that are trying to do their thing, and they're doing an amazing job. But like, if anyone does, then I'll always help them.
Like people in the gym always say that, oh, like Gary's helping me with this, or I spoke to Gary about that. So
always, mate.
People do really appreciate it.
Oh no, mate! I love helping people, and I know like people have helped me on the way. You guys have helped me massively, and I know you help us all. And like, you know, I know it's not one for sentiment and stuff like that, but I do really, really appreciate all you've done to help me, because like, honestly, it's changed my life, because I think it's changed my mindset, it's changed my mental state. I feel more confident in myself because of, you know, physical improvements in terms of, you know, I've lost 3 stone since I've been doing it in what's that, a year and a bit. I wish more people knew what you guys are about, because I spread the word with whoever I can, because it's, you know, your heart's in the right place, but actually the stuff you're doing makes a massive difference to people.
That's good. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, like it's always nice when people say it and sort of thing, but like I don't think it's until times like now when you can't have those direct impacts on people that you can actually fully appreciate it personally. So it's good to hear, and like I say, hopefully we can, with the podcast and with all the stuff we're putting out on social media at the minute, we can still help people out as much as we can. In fact, you should probably know. Does anybody know that we're releasing some programs now?
I don't think anybody's been told, no. I've mentioned it to a couple of people who have asked me about different things, but I've not sort of proactively told people about it.
Okay. We'll tell people now then. Why not?
Get it?
Early release. So basically, as of hopefully next week, it should all be submitted. Hopefully. I say hopefully. Should all be submitted by tomorrow. Basically, there's going to be a shop on the back end of our website that's going to allow people to buy some basically hand balancing programs from Josh, running programs, and just some like more specific to we're all stuck at home with basically heavily discounted to make sure that they're as accessible to as many people as possible as we can. So yeah, basically handstands, which Josh can tell you more about, and then run program, and obviously to one and group programs that we're going to have available as well. They'll all be going up on the back end of our website for everybody to be able to sign up and have some fun. Anybody that gets stuck into those programs will be able to get onto the LST group as well and get involved with the community, which is just trying to keep that community alive and have a good fun with it while we're basically what we've been working on while we've been quiet for the last couple of days. So that's exciting. That's to come.
And there's that thing that we just signed up to today, the CrossFit Open thing, isn't there?
Yeah, so I think that starts tomorrow. So that's support your local box. So basically, for anybody who's interested, I think you've got to be signed up by the 3rd of April, and you can support any CrossFit gym that's affiliated, basically. So you jump on to games.crossfit.com and you can register and you do free workouts. They'll all be at-home workouts. That'll be either with RX and scaled options, minimal equipment needed apparently. And just like the CrossFit Open, the Worldwide CrossFit Open, we'll be taking part, submitting your name to the leaderboard and seeing where we all fare. 100% of proceeds go to the CrossFit affiliate that you select. So, example being, you could select CrossFit LST and it'd come through to us. Or if it's, again, I know we've got guys that listen from other CrossFit gyms. If you select your gym, then again, they'll make it. HQ are going to make sure that everybody gets it dished out to them. So that'll be pretty good, and we're all going to jump on a big Zoom call and throw down together and get after it. Hopefully on Friday. Is it Friday tomorrow?
Friday.
Yeah. Hopefully Friday or Saturday I'll get on a mega Zoom call and throw down at the same time. Hopefully.
On it.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Loads of good stuff going on. Cool. So anyway, guys, thank you very much today, Gary. That was awesome. I really appreciate your time coming on and sparing some time to basically impart some business wisdom on us.
No, it's been great. Thanks for the invite.
No problem. Before we go, guys, just want to thank everyone for listening again. Don't forget that you can check out any popular shows that we've done previously. They're all available on anywhere where you like to get your podcast now. Stitcher, iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube if you want to watch. Like, subscribe, share, comment, whatever you need to do your thing and get it out there so that everyone can benefit from it. Thanks for tuning into AgogeTV, and don't forget, find us on iTunes and give us a 5-star review. Cheers, guys. Peace.